Here we have an Asus Zenbook laptop that came in for repair. And this one is the i9 processor. Let me show you how the laptop looks like. Nice big screen here. And touchpad on this side. The laptop is about $2,400. And you would think if you paid that much money for a laptop, the laptop should not fail. At least not within a year or two, right? Customer dropped this in locally. I was leaving the shop. We closed. And he saw me outside. He said, you can take it. He gave me his name and number. And once we are done working on this, I'll call him to come and pick up. Now, I have not worked on this specific model before, so we're going to have to figure it out. If you look here, it's weird how that GPU, I cannot point in the right direction while looking at the camera. Look at the GPU. It's weird how that GPU is tilted. Same with the RAM chips. It just looks weird. It's not symmetrical. Before we start the video, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay is a China Shenzhen-based PCB manufacturer and printed circuit board assembler with more than a decade in the field of PCB prototype and fabrication. They offer a wide variety of services, including 3D printing, CNC machining, sheet metal fabrication, and much more. PCBWay is committed to meeting all your PCB needs. They offer quality, on-time delivery, and competitive pricing. 1 to 2 layer boards starts at $5 with 24 hours turnaround. Get an instant quote by visiting PCBWay.com or click on the link below and make sure to check them out. Let's take a look at the board and see what's going on. Like I said, I have not worked on this specific model before. And that GPU looks weird. The angle of that GPU chip, the core, looks weird. Look at the PCH chip. Let me just align the bottom of the PCH chip with the bottom of my screen. And if I can just move up the laptop without tilting the laptop left or right, look at that angle. Maybe 10-15 degree angle. The GPU is even more angled. Look at this. Weird. It just looks weird. Now, the first thing I like to do is check the DC connector, measure the DC MOSFETs, which should be nearby or back of the board. We have not disassembled that board yet. I told Big Boss, let me take a look at the surface. If we need to, or if we have to, we can disassemble the board and work on it. But there's no reason to waste time disassembling the board if we can figure it out from the side of the board. I mentioned in the last video, on Asus laptops, it's almost always the surface and not bottom of the board. But of course, that does not apply to all laptops. I do not see any MOSFETs here. We may have to remove the board, but let me just quickly take a look around and see if we can figure it out. Meter in diode mode. 2.1 voltage drop. We do not have a short circuit here. So this board looks nothing like any of the boards that we have worked on for Asus. And we work on Asus laptops every day. I think we do more Asus laptops than all shops combined. .4 voltage drop. Nothing obvious here. Just quick visual inspection. Oh, wait a minute. Are those the DC MOSFETs? For C or 9C. We can measure the drain of which one? I do not see a current sense resistor here. Maybe back of the board. 0.467. And I think we have a short circuit. 0 voltage drop. Let me go to ohms mode. And we are reading 0 ohms. Measure here. We have a 0 ohm reading, and measure here, 0 ohm reading. Meter in diode mode. Yeah, something is going on. I think we have a short circuit. Let's turn on our voltage injection tool, NF short. If you are in the same type of business or you are doing this as a hobby, you can purchase the NF short voltage injection tool off our site, along with all the other tools that we use on our bench here, including this amazing microscope, Flux, braid wig, soldering iron, hot air station, everything. Just add to cart, check out, pay, and we almost always ship out same day. I worked on a lot of devices today. I need to clean up. Everything is all over the place. I do not have time to organize while I'm working. So I'm going to connect my ground probe. And let's go to our thermal camera. I'm going to inject voltage at the short and monitor the board under the thermal camera and see what gets hot. How come it's always a short? I don't know. Why don't you ask the laptop? Or whatever is shorting out. I do not make the short, and I do not make the faults. Whatever we get in the shop, we fix, whether it's a short or whatever the case may be. We're going to inject voltage. Where is it? At the drain of the MOSFET and monitor the board under a thermal camera and see what gets hot. Look at this. I see it. I'm injecting voltage right here, and I see something right over here. Let's go to our thermal camera at the V-core circuit. So either a DR MOSFET, a capacitor. What's next to my finger? Wow. Wow, look at this. A capacitor. I see a discolored capacitor right here. That was quick. We figured out the problem quick. Meter in diode mode. Looks like we have more than one damaged capacitor because I do not see the side on this cap. It's totally gone. So we're going to have to replace both caps. Now I do not want to apply hot air because we have a lot of things that can burn. I do not know if this is plastic or it doesn't look like it's plastic. It's cold. So, but I do not want to burn this, so we're going to have to use our hot tweezers. What burned those capacitors? Let me know. Leave it down in the comments. What do you think burned those capacitors? Or what caused the short circuit on a $2,400 device? Look at this. Look at this. Let me see if we can move this to the side. And we're gonna have to rip it to move it. I mean, look at this. Look at the condition on this cap. Wow. It was not visible like that from the top, but I could tell that we have a blown cap. Look at that damage. Okay. Now that the caps are out, let's measure for a short again. Hopefully we do not have other underlying issues. Meter in diode mode, and do we still have a short right here? Short is gone. Wow. 2 minutes in, and we figured it out. The short is gone. So this is ground, and this one is not ground. This is ground, and this is not ground. No problem. This whole plane here is ground. No problemo, senor. Now, what is the value of the capacitor? We're gonna remove this cap, measure it, and we'll see. Since I have not worked on this model before, we're gonna have to measure it. And this looks like a 10 microfarads capacitor. You see why flux is important? Let's grab two capacitors, solder the caps on. So I have a 10 microfarads cap right here. And I have one right over here. Now the short is gone, but we do not know if anything else suffered from this explosion. Hopefully that will fix the problem. And this laptop will be the last repair for the day. Working non-stop since morning. Just measure to make sure that we do not have a short circuit anymore. No short circuit and no short circuit. Awesome. One last thing I want to do. Just apply UV mask. All right, now assuming the battery is charged, we should be able to plug in the battery and power this laptop on. And assuming there's no other issues, there are no other issues with this laptop. I do not see any lights. Fans are not spinning. And we're gonna have to plug it in. Let me see if my regular Asus adapter will fit. This one probably uses USB-C. And we can plug the cable, yes. Yes, I do see light at the screen on the bottom, but we want to see an image. The bottom screen flashed. I think it went off again. Let me try one more time. I do see the power button and CPU got really hot. Oh, wait a minute, we do not have the heatsink. Probably it's not gonna power on unless we have the heatsink on. So let me give this over to Big Boss to reassemble and I'll be back to finish the video. I think it's fixed. But the CPU goes from 0 to 60 in a split second. I'll be back. All right, so Big Boss reassembled the heatsink right here. And moment of truth. Press the power button. Yes, yes. Wow, we got it. We got it. Look at this. Look at that beauty. We saved a $2,400 laptop for the customer. We are done. We're gonna call the customer to come and pick up. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll do something else in the next video.